Hello students, I hope you are all fine and in good health. In this particular audio presentation, I will discuss few important tips that is related with note making. Or rather to say, I will give some important suggestion that is related with note making. As you know, note making is very important for our English syllabus. It is there in the post midterm syllabus. Previously also it was included. So let me just go through it once so that you can revise the concept well and you can write it well also in exam. So first important note making tips is that prepare notes using phrases only. Never use complete sentences. Now this thing you have to keep in mind, that prepare notes using phrases but never use complete sentences as such. The topic sentence of each paragraph is the main point, and ideas affiliated to it are subpoints. Now, you have to divide the note making into main points and subpoints. You can further divide it into subpoints also. One or more depending on the concepts in the paragraph. Now, you can divide the subpoints into one or more divisions. Now, it depends on the concept of the paragraph. Each subpoint may or may not have supplementary ideas which become subpoints. Now, each subpoint may have, may not have some supplementary ideas. You can provide some supplementary ideas or you can leave it by subpoint also. That means subpoint is there, but sometimes subpoint, that is supplementary ideas, are used sometimes. Now, appropriate title has to be provided for the notes or the summary or abstract as given in the question. Appropriate title, unanimous title is very important. Include a minimum of 4 to 6 distinctly different recognizable short forms, that is abbreviations of the words in the notes. 4 to 6, max to max 4 abbreviations are enough. Next one, cover all the important points in the notes meaningfully to prepare the summary in about 50 words. Remember, you have to write down the summary in about 50 words. This is very important. And while you write the summary, you have to write the summary in complete sentences. Okay, unlike while you prepare the structure of the note making format, at that time I told you that instead of writing complete sentences, you can form phrases. But while you write the 50-word summary, you have to take the entire help, or rather you have to take the entire clue from the note making format, because the summary that you will write, it should be very much related with the note making format. And because from the note making format that you have done earlier, it should have a sort of connection with the summary that you are writing. And remember, in case of writing the summary, it should be within 50 words. And you have to write in complete sentences in a paragraph. The summary has to be written in complete sentences in a paragraph, and the summary and the note making format both should be interconnected, or it should be interrelated. Now, how to summarize a given passage? This is also important. How to summarize, how to write a summary, or rather a note making passage, how will we summarize it? Now, few steps we have to keep in mind, dear students, related with how to summarize a given passage. And what are those steps? Number one, first read. You have to read. Read the passage very carefully and critically. Very, very important suggestion it is. You have to read the passage very, very carefully and very critically also. Read the passage straight through. Do not stop to look up anything that gives you trouble at the first reading. You should get a feel for the author's tone, style and main idea. You should have a feel. You should have a feel related with the author's tone. You should have a feel related with the author's style and main idea. So you have to read it. At first you have to read the entire passage. Then one reading is not enough. In one reading you may not get the idea. While you do the note making also, one reading is not enough. You have to read it again and again. So second time also. First time you will read, when you will read for the second time, the ideas will be more clearer to you. You might discover some new things also in the same passage. Rereading should be active reading. Now the second time when you are reading, the first time it will be a casual sort of a reading, but when you are reading it for the next time, this time when you are reading it for the next time, it will be active reading on your part. Now while you will read for the second time, you have to follow some basic instructions. And what are those? Underline the topic sentences and key facts with pencil. You have to underline the topic sentences, and not only that, you have to underline some of the key informations with pencil. Label the areas that you want to refer to as you write your summary. Now you have to label the areas. That means you have to underline in such a way that not only it will help you in your note making format construction, but while you will solve the summary, it will help you at that time also. Also label the areas that you find irrelevant. Now every information might not be important to you while you write down the note making format or the summary. Now those information that you consider irrelevant or not so important, so you have to mark those areas also, so that you can distinguish between the important points that you have selected and the irrelevant ones also, that which points are the important ones and which are the unimportant or the irrelevant ones. So you can put up some signs also, or rather to say some mark also, or you can label it also. Identify areas that you do not understand and try to clarify those points. Now read it once again if you feel like. Maybe repeat a sentence, reading or repeating a sentence in your own mind. If you not get an idea at the first time, you might read it again, and obviously you can clarify in your mind some important points that maybe on one reading or second reading it might not be clear. You can read some of the portions once again also, so that the idea might be clear to you. One sentence at a time. This is another important, very important suggestion, dear students. Now write the main idea of each paragraph in one well-developed sentence. Make sure that you include in your sentence key points and not minor details. Remember, key points only you include, and the main important thing is that the main idea of each paragraph should be written in a complete sentence. I repeat, the main idea related with each paragraph of the unseen passage that is given in the note making or given for note making must be written in a well developed sentence. And most importantly, that it should include some important points and not minor details. Now another important thing that you should remember, write a thesis statement. Now what exactly is that? The key to a well written summary is the thesis statement. Now this is actually the key, the most important thing that you should follow in order to write a nearly perfect summary related with the note making passage. The quality thesis statement should either express one idea or assert your conclusions about the subject. Generally, a thesis statement consists of the following parts. Now, what exactly a thesis sentence actually consists of? A clearly identifiable topic or subject matter, that is also very important. Brief summary of what you have to say about the topic, that part also you have to keep in mind. So if these two factors are taken into due consideration, and if you work on these two factors very positively, then the thesis statement will be absolutely perfect. And there lies the key to a proper summary writing. Remember, dear students, you can use thesis statement as the introductory sentence of your summary, while your other sentences can make up the body. Yes, this is also a way you can introduce the thesis statement at the beginning of your summary, and the other sentences, those sentences can fall in line, in a sequence you can say, or they can form up the body of the summary. So you can start your intro part with the thesis statement. And remember the two important things that are required to write a proper thesis statement. Number one, a clearly identifiable topic or subject matter, that is one thing, and another one, a brief summary of what you have to say about the topic. Those things you have to mention properly. If you can control and you can execute it properly, then the thesis statement can be written well. And another important thing, remember dear students, a good summary should have ideas, facts or points in the order in which they are given in the original passage. So a good summary should have ideas, facts or points in the order in which they are given in the original passage. Add some transition words such as then, however, also, moreover. You can use some transition words while you write down the summary. Now, what are those transition words? Like then, however, also, moreover. This type of words you can use. That ultimately will help with the overall structure and flow of the summary. The following tips will help you to write a good summary. And remember another thing, the summary should be written within 50 words limit and should coherent without any errors in logic. It should not be illogical. It should be totally logical. Don't put your own opinions, ideas or interpretation into the summary. This thing previously also when I discussed note making with you all, I referred to it. I told you all regarding this that please don't use your own ideas. Don't use your own opinions and don't give your own personal interpretation. Then obviously marks will be deteriorated. Okay, whatever ideas and whatever opinions are given in the passage, strictly follow that. Personal opinions or interpretation or ideas should be strictly avoided. Now another important thing that is there to be discussed, that is accuracy. Check for accuracy. Reread your summary and make sure that you have accurately represented the author's ideas and key points. Make sure that your summary does not contain your own comments. Yes, now check it, reread your summary. After you have written your summary, it is better, it is advisable that you reread your summary, that in order to make sure that you haven't included in your writing, in your summary, you haven't included your own opinions. You have to make sure about it. And finally, revision or revise. Revise your summary for style, grammar and punctuation. You have to revise your summary for style, grammar and punctuation. Correct all the errors in composition and rewrite it if needed. You have to correct the errors in composition, and if you wish you can rewrite it if needed, but it should be, actually there should not be any grammatical errors, because if there is some punctuation errors or grammatical errors, then obviously you have to correct it in your composition, otherwise you might lose marks. In that case you have to rewrite if it is needed. If you feel like there are a lot of grammar errors, lot of punctuation errors, if you feel like, then it is advisable, then you rewrite the entire sentence once again. So those are some of the tips related with note making and summary writing. I hope dear students you will listen to this audio presentation, and if there is any doubts anywhere, kindly you can clarify. Thank you students. Thank you all.